I warned him a little bit, so he's vaguely aware that some of us are out of control. Some of us are in control, but some of us are out of control. So, welcome to Mom and Dad's big 50th wedding anniversary. This is an amazing event. They have been married 50 years, which means that they are 70 years old.
Yes. That's it.
Or, as the U.S. Senate calls them, freshmen. Uncle Rick, it's going to be fine. You're going to be okay. We'll get through it. So first off, Mom and Dad, who are all these people? I don't know. Who are all these people? I thought it was your best friend. I thought I was just going to come over and have some Chinese food, maybe the wine. You have all these people over there. I'm not sure. There he is. There's Uncle Rick back there. Very fun, very fun. All right, this next joke is for my Aunt Peggy. This is a tribute to my Aunt Peg. This is your joke. Now, I did write a punchline, though. Are you ready?
Oh, dear.
Just because this is their 50th wedding anniversary does not mean that I'm 50.
Oh, Lord.
I'm actually 53. It was the 70s. Settle down. It was the 70s. It was free love and all that stuff. It's okay. Too far. All right. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to tell a few stories tonight. Stories are fun to tell. Well, I'm going to tell stories because A, the totality of things that I know and you don't could stun a team of oxen in their tracks. And it's fun to do. So, here we go. My mother is the most intimidating woman you've ever met.
I am not.
In your life. My dad is the cheapest rich man you've ever met in your life. Here we go. So, I'm 12 years old. I work for my dad. Yes, I worked for my dad when I was 12 years old. Don't call the IRS. He paid me $5 an hour, but he said it was like 8 because it was cash. Anyways, I work for Dad in the shop.
It's a true story.
Yes.
Dad walks down the ramp with these two guys in suits. And I don't know what's going on, some sort of a meeting or whatever, and they're talking about stuff, and they're giving him some beverage, but all this. He's a middle child, so he's just trying to make everybody okay. So he's just sort of getting through it. I followed them outside, and my mom is standing there. And Mom is standing there in a black trench coat down to the floor, and she's standing like this. Just giving those guys the eyeballs. They see her. Oh, sorry. So we'll talk to you. We'll call you. We'll be in touch. She runs them off. She runs them off out of the property just by her presence, which tells me that's a team. You go after him. You're going after me. And if you come after my mom, you better get up early in the morning because she will cut your heart out. True story. That's a true story. You remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I had an opinion about that.
Well, you can have the mic in just a second. Not right now. Not right now. All right. So as a kid, we would go to. Yeah, we got Cattle Company next. We would go to Cattle Company a lot as a kid. Cattle Company was a little steakhouse in Gresham. They tore it down. It's where the Goodwill is now, but whatever. Go to Cattle Company a lot on a Friday night. Go to Cattle Company on a Friday night. No reservation. They say Kurt party of 4, 45 minutes. Which they love. Because they're just going to go to the bar and have fun and make friends and drink and be crazy people. But I'm 12 and my sister's 8. We have to sit in the middle thing. Right? So then Mom walks down with a couple drinks, Cokes, and whatever, soda pop stuff, and then Dad comes down. Jingling his pocket, jingling the pocket. I'm like, Dad's going to bail me out. Thank you. Dad's going to bail me out. Cannot wait. They had video games on the outside edge, like Miss Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. Dad puts that on the table. 3 quarters. 3 quarters. 3 video games for 45 minutes. Remember? You're laughing.
Spend them slow.
Spend them slow. Spend them slow. Spend them slow. My favorite Cattle Company story is actually, one time we were at Cattle Company and we're crazy. I'm a crazy person. My dad's crazy. My mom's the referee. And my sister is trying to disappear into the wood paneling. So we're there. And we're being nuts. Cattle Company had like a 6-foot booth. So we're like in like a cave. And we're just hanging out and we're being nuts. And at one point, my dad takes the shoe off of my mom's foot and pours wine into it and drinks the wine from the shoe.
Yes. That's true. That is true.
It's a true story.
That's called love.
That's not something you can unsee. I'm damaged. I'm a damaged person. But I mean, the point is, he's into her. Obviously, he's into her, right? He's into her. That's not the story he wanted me to share. It was the story my sister wanted me to share. Here's another story about Cattle Company. One time, they're tipsy, they're drunk, whatever. We're at the booth, we're having dinner and drinks and stuff, and we're laughing, and Dad throws up. He pukes at the table. Dad throws up at the table. Why does he throw up at the table? Because on the way to Cattle Company, they would drink wine in the car on the way to Cattle Company.
No.
Yeah, you did.
was
And
water.
not like in a coffee mug or a red Soul cup, in an actual wine glass. Like this. Just like, maybe they won't see us. In a wine glass on the way. Then the 45 minutes which I talked about, then we're there. Dad pukes. He pukes. At Cattle Company. In his hands, but not like this. No. Dad pukes in his hand like this. Right? You remember. So basically there's puke on the ground and puke on his fingers just dripping off.
But who saved me?
Dave?
Tom.
Tom. Whatever. Yeah. All right, we have a couple of weddings this weekend, which I think is very cute. We've got 2 weddings going on in the family this weekend, and it's fun for me to think about that. We have some people in the family that are starting their marriage time at 1. And some people in the family who've been doing it for 50 years, which is 18,200. So it's very fun that we have some at 1 and some at 18,000. I think that's good. All right, we're almost done, Uncle Rick. You're almost done. Just stay on it. We're almost there. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. I got a personal story speed round in the big finale. Here we go. So here's a personal story for you. One time I'm 16, 17 years old. We had this house in Gresham area, 6 acres. The front 2 acres was all grass, and the grass had to be mowed once a week. They had a riding lawnmower. I had to mow it once a week, but it took like 4.5 hours to mow the grass. I broke it up into 2 days. Monday, Tuesday, 2 hours this day, 2 hours the next day. But mow the grass, Monday, Tuesday. One time, on a Friday night, Dad comes to me and says, I want you to remow the top half in the morning. I said, no. Yep, you're going to remow the top half in the morning. Why? Because I'm having a party tomorrow night, and I want the top half to be clean. Fine. So I get up Saturday, and I'm pissed, and I mow the top half, but I leave a big center section unmowed in the middle. And then I come into that center section, I carve in the letter T. An elevated, unmowed T in the middle of the grass. This is a true story. I didn't tell him. I didn't tell nobody. Let's go up. Party starts, barbecue and all stuff, and he sees it. He comes up to the top deck. What the hell was that? I'm like, I was pissed. I don't want to do it. I was mad. So I carved in a T, which took me longer than just mowing it. But that's not the point. Goes in, Vonnie, come look what your son did. Look what your son did. Every time I'm bad, I'm hers. Yeah. They thought it was the funniest thing. They laughed and laughed. Brought all the friends over to look at it. Look what Justin did to the yard. It's been a great thing to be your son. The biggest gift that I think you gave me was the gift of confidence, which hasn't worked out for a few of my partners, but I like it. So thank you. What? Brett, too far. Brett thinks that. Brett doesn't like that one. Brett thinks that one's too far. I see. All right, speed round. Okay, so speed round. Mom likes to unplug the coffee pot every day. They get up at like 4:30 in the morning, they make coffee, and then she unplugs it. So when the regular work gets up at 8 o'clock in the morning, the coffee's going, I'm like, why'd you unplug it? This is what we do, Sonny Boy. It has a button. I don't care, Sonny Boy. And then it stays on for a couple hours, it'll turn itself off. It's a timer. I don't care, Sonny Boy. Do you unplug the toaster? It's not the same thing, Sonny Boy. Okay. Dad likes to call me his brother. Out. In public. Restaurants, bars. I'm trying to get digits. Says to people, he's my brother. Which is hard. It's hard.
Younger.
Younger brother.
He still does it to this day. Okay. All right, 1973. 1973. Richard Nixon is president for now. Gas is 40 cents a gallon. Packed Oreos is 59 cents. Average household income in America is $12,000. A new home costs about $30,000. A new car costs about $3,000. Through all the ups and downs of life that it brings you, the houses, the cars that break down, the pets that die, the family members that die, through all of this stuff, you guys have this way of just taking a deep breath, settle down for just a second, let's take a look, let's figure out what the best path is forward, and then let's try to make it work. And I think it's an amazing thing, which brings me to my final story, which is that Secretariat won the Triple Crown in 1973. Secretariat won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes. All three of those races at record times in 1973. And those three records still stand to this day. Secretariat lived about 19 years. Upon death, they did an autopsy, and what they learned was that his heart was 2.5 times larger than any horse's heart they had ever seen. That's what his engine was. That's what allowed him to breathe air. That's what allowed him to settle back in the field, find his moments, and then go for the win. And isn't that what you have done? Isn't it your heart for each other, which is 2.5 times larger than mine? I was married 18 years. Another joke for Brett. Your heart for each other is enormous and large. It has allowed you to settle down, to take a deep breath. You use that as your engine moving forward, and I think it's absolutely amazing. I love you guys. I appreciate you. You know, life gives us a lot of stuff sometimes. We all struggle. Business sucks. Economy sucks. Business is good. Economy's good. Things happen, this and that, but you've always just been great. Every time I just needed to talk to somebody, every time I just needed to laugh, every time I just needed Chinese food.
It's important.
It's been you. I love you and I appreciate you. Very much.
Way to bring it home, Dad.
My last note is that one of the greatest things you ever taught me is that we are better off when we build bridges between people and not walls. So thank you.